You can affect people in all kind of ways, and it's a matter of learning what your desired result is, and then knowing what it is it takes to do that, because that's what you do when you audition. What is the desired result? And knowing how to go about doing that so you can get whatever it is that you want. Now, you guys have given us two extremes, but obviously there's an infinite number of levels in between that, just based on what's happening and what's going on. The point of the lesson was to bring an awareness to you about this, that you do have this ability and you need to exercise it. You can't just go on, because I have heaps of actors, they're just like, okay, all right. No, you're in charge. You got to step. This is a very proactive profession, and you've got to take that initiative if you want things to happen for you. You've got to be able to do your part in that. And the more you know about this and many other things, obviously the more empowered you are to do what it is that you're looking to do. Create what it is you're looking to create. Well, you got to think of your creativity the same way, and your art the same way. You got to shed the old and keep reinventing and redeveloping yourself into the new, right? And some weeks you can't, but you don't want to let those weeks go by too long. You know, even if you have to throw yourself in front of a film and just throw it on and just study it. Study the film completely out of context. So you only got a half hour. Oh, you know, don't just throw in a film. Throw it in the middle of the film. Just advance it into a few scenes, and just because that's where your mind can't go on the linear travel, and then you can start looking in deeper and just watch and study and pay attention. So exciting. It's fascinating. You really just get into it and just get your passion running for it, and you do it just because. Because remember, your subconscious does not know the difference between real nor perceived. So if you're acting and you're doing it, internally, you're doing it for Spielberg, you're doing it for a student film, you're doing it in an acting class. It doesn't matter, you're still doing it, and it's doing something. That's why an actor needs to work at all times. You're either paying to work or you're getting paid to work, but you got to keep working, because that's what's going to keep you stimulated. And that's just the industry that we're in. It's that simple. It's like being in the Olympics and not training. You know, I mean, we have to compete for our work. And my job is to keep you out of mediocrity, to keep you sailing above the pollution line. Any of you ever travel up into the little hills up here? You know, any of you go up here? And some days you look down and there's that layer of smog that's in it. You gotta get above it. You gotta get above it. Now it's metaphoric for your own smog, your internal smog. We can get all stuck in the dense stuff. And you gotta get up and you gotta get past that. Get up there constantly where the air is fresh. Like, just think of exfoliation, taking a shower, changing your clothes. You know, you just want to keep doing it. All right, now we're coming out of this energy thing, and I've been getting some really cool stories about the energy thing and how people are raising their level of awareness about the energy and where they're placing it. I'm listening to dialogue and hearing, and I put my energy on this, and hearing people going to auditions and having more of a conscious awareness on how the energy is being affected in the room and what they're doing with it. Whenever I'm directing, and I'll pick up some directing jobs throughout the year, it always, of course, will heighten my awareness about that. And, you know, working with you here, of course, is one level of it, but I do more coaching than I do directing, which you should be very thankful for. But when I'm working, I'm directing, I'm not coaching. Sometimes you got to coach because you got to help them get through something or whatever, and then they should be grateful because I've got the ability to do that in a manner and way that's going to work for them, which is really cool. But you're that thing about being directed, that thing about being, it's like being right in there and seeing and working with those guys and seeing where their energy is, and then going, okay, great, I need you to bring a little bit more energy here, and then you watch it shift because it's all in the now. We're shooting a film, and, you know, we got to run and gun, and we got to go, and we got to get those shots. And when you're working with good actors, you know, and you can get that stuff, it's great. When you're not working with good actors and you can't get that stuff, it's like being constipated. You know, you can't get past the next step. Because you're stuck and they're not moving it. And an actor that's fun to work with is an actor that's malleable, it's pliable. They get what you're saying. It's part of their job to get what you're saying so they can give it to you, not become one of those primos, you know, where it's just, you know, you're going to work around me. No, it doesn't work that way. You know, you learn to work well in anybody's hands. That's our job. And so by you understanding that shifting of the, like for example, we're in a pressure cooker in these things just because there's too many, there's a lot of factors involved that you don't have time to suss out properly. So you're doing things improperly and praying for a proper result. which is called insanity. But that's what these things are. And so, like all this, I have to be in a creative zone when I'm directing, because I gotta pull this story together. And then you have these people called producers that are trying to, do their administration production thing, and it's like, then there's artistic and there's production, and it's like you want to protect yourself from that, and then things start happening, and then I'm going, what's going on with my energy? How's my energy shifting? No, this energy's going, I'm not going to allow that energy to continue down that path. I got to block that and keep that energy somewhere else. Just like if you ever really started to get angry at somebody, if you don't have a complete anger issue and you actually know how to control yourself, then you know that you have to kind of contain that because it's not appropriate. You shouldn't do it. Or like water. If anybody ever lives in a flood zone and water's coming down, you sandbag the water so you can steer it into a different direction. You guys with me? And the more you can control those things, the easier it is for you to control your energy and your emotions to not do what you don't want them to do, but to do what it is you want them to do. Now you might be able to say, well, isn't that kind of manipulating life? Yes, it's exactly what we are. We're actors. We manipulate life. That's the definition of what it is that we do. You getting this? We create it and make it the way we need it to be for the given purpose of the character or the scene. And the better you have the ability to control that, obviously the better you can manipulate what it is for your desired result. And the more you know what your desired result is, the better chance you're going to have at actually achieving that. And part of why I talk like this is to continue to just pound that hope and chance out of you. Because we have this hope and chance. And it's good to believe and to have expectation. And there's a certain aspect of hope that is good. It keeps us nourished and it keeps us fed. But it's like anything else. If you're just, you're just leaning on that thing too long, it's not healthy. You following me? You can't just hope. You've got to know. You've got to go in with that confidence that you know what you're doing, and to be as confident. Now it's okay to ask for wisdom, and you want to pray for guidance, and that sort of thing is fine, but then you have to take it and you have to move in it. And know that you're moving in it, and not just leave it up to chance and hope that it's going to just work out. No, you have a ridiculously important part in this whole thing as actors, because that's what it is that we do. Okay, we're talking about, we'll stay away from the fancy words. We're talking about your ability to do what it said in the title. Can you walk and talk and chew gum at the same time? And of course there's no gum chewing in the studio, but you get the point. And your ability to do that. How do you eat? Can you eat on camera? A lot of things that people don't always stop to think about. Can you eat on camera? There's people that when they eat, you just want to puke, man. It's just terrible. They do not, and there are people who can eat, you just love watching them eat. They just know how to eat off of a fork. They know how to chew and talk. And it's marvelous. Now, if you're going to do commercials, you have to know how to do this, because once they figure out, well, you don't have to do anything. But when the industry and the commercial business figures out that you know how to eat, right, you become pretty hot. You become a hot commodity, because not a lot of people know how to eat right. When you're shooting in film and television, I'm cutting right now. I'll be cutting tonight. We're cutting all kind of things that just don't work because the moments weren't there, the situations don't happen, and you're getting cut. And sometimes somebody gets cut to the point where they're just cut out because you just can't use them, because now they don't maintain the integrity of the story, so you just have to get rid of them. And that's how all these kind of things, it's ways in how these things happen. So part of my motivation, my heart for actors, is to have you not run into these situations as often as you can control it from happening, so you do have an awareness about what's going on. Because if you get in a film and you're looking great and all that, when you go to eat, they can't shoot you face on because it's just gross, then you're going to lose all that camera time.